Carimara Beneath the Fallen Limbs. Seems like a weird title, isn't it? Well, it's pretty simple. This is Carimara, which is you. This is the Forlorn Limbs, and this is Beneath it. This is all the information you're gonna get about this game from this video, so don't worry about any spoilers. Because you are here to solve a mystery. You are Sherlock Holmes. If he was a dwarf and all. You gotta use the deductions to find the killer, obviously. At the basic level, Carimara Beneath the Fallen Limbs is an eerie narrative horror adventure. You play as a mute, Carimara, who uses card-based questioning to prise secrets from a grief-stitched house and its odd inhabitants. The game is short but dense with twists, secrets, and a handful of obscure solutions. The game takes place almost entirely inside a strange house. There is no combat, there's almost no dialogue in the traditional sense, and instead of speaking, your character communicates through cards with symbols, which you use to interact with objects and characters. That alone already makes it feel different from most indie horror games. But what really makes Carimara stand out is the atmosphere. Most horror games today try to overwhelm you. Jump scares, loud sounds, dark corridors, running from monsters. Carimara does the opposite. It is a quiet mystery horror experience rather than a traditional horror game. It feels more like a fairy tale that slowly becomes uncomfortable. Not terrifying, not violent, just unsettling. The house doesn't feel haunted in the usual way. It feels like it's remembering something and you're not supposed to be there long enough to understand it. One of the biggest reasons this game sticks in your head is the visual style. It looks like a strange mix of early PlayStation era graphics, low poly environments, and modern lighting that makes everything feel dreamlike. And the weird thing is, the rough graphics actually make it creepier. Because nothing feels fully real, but nothing feels fully fake either. It feels like something that shouldn't exist anymore. Underneath the creepy visuals and strange mechanics, Carimara isn't really about ghosts or monsters. It's about asking questions. The game literally builds its mechanics around the idea that your character can only ask things. It's a one and only mechanic in the game. Interact with anything, you get a card for it. Then you ask about that thing to anyone. You get interesting answers depending on the being you are asking. Not how I use the word being instead of a person. Because there is only one person, well, if you call this abomination a person, other than yourself in the game. And the more you ask, the more uncomfortable the world becomes. And that's what makes the game feel different from typical horror game. Instead of fear coming from danger, it comes from curiosity. The game is short, very short, but it will stay in your head for a long time. Players on Reddit keeps calling it a unique, very compact horror experience and something that's short but memorable. That's honestly the best way to describe Carimara. It's not something you play for gameplay, it's something you play for a feeling. And that experience is too good to miss. The reason Carimara matters isn't because it's big or polished or even technically impressive. It matters because it proves something important about indie games. You don't need a huge budget, realistic graphics, or 20 hours of content. Sometimes all you need is a very strong idea and confidence to keep it small. Carimara isn't trying to compete with big horror games. It's trying to create something strange, quiet, and memorable. And honestly, it succeeds. If you like weird indie games that feel more like experiences than traditional games, this is definitely worth checking out. It's short, it's strange, it barely explains itself, and that's exactly why it works.